Previously on Forgotten Gear Restorations.
About Eric Thomas from the world famous Eric Thomas music account there on YouTube. You were 120% correct, man. And what good vision you have. I had to magnify this on my phone to see it. This is one of those Division of Columbia Records labels here, buddy, on this rear control panel plate. Good looking, buddy. All right, we're about to get into the nitty gritty with this filter pack board. And you'll notice that the prior tech had added some caps in series to meet working voltage requirements, and you have to add these balance resistors. Well, let's bring her back to stock on that. But it's always good, regardless. You want to remove these boards and inspect between them. Make sure there's no errant blobs of solder. There's no broken wires. There's all kinds of things you could find in there. So let's take a quick peek. See what we can find. What is this? What? December 3rd, 1965. Frank, I'm you from the past. Do not have coffee on March 12th, 2025. Love, Frank. P.S. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Here's that repopulated board. Restored to vintage spec. And trim up a little bit of these leads here, but we got her placed back on here. Get her wired up and fired up. See what's up. All right. Got her resituated. Let's get these self-tappers back in. I actually found some old wire clippings underneath the insulator board. Maybe they would have moved at some point, but hey, it was fine. This thing's been getting played since 1965. Nice. All right. So this is how I like to do them. Nice and neat. Back to the original factory configuration. So, I mean, with the exception of, you know, going from 16 microfarads to 20, we're getting a significant bump in working voltage up to 500 volts DC. And if you look at, hell, those caps, let's take a look. And we're gonna throw these on a tester. What are we really looking at here? About between 10 and 20% plus or minus. So do the math. And these are manufactured to much tighter tolerances. So this is this amp's best chance at regaining her vintage tone. All right. So we're gonna retension these guys here. Let me see if I have any more bear traps. I feel like I'm out of them. Oh, I gotta order some more. Yeah, I'm completely out. So I'll talk to you about that. I'll probably just, I need to do another tube order anyway, so I could save you some shipping. I'll just include them in my upcoming tube order this weekend. So I'll want to replace, this one's fine, but I want to put two Belton traps there. And the beautiful thing is that's what's on all of the 6L6 amps. So we'll put, we literally just take these little self-tappers out. They go right over the socket, and then you'll just put your hardware back in, and you're in business. It's just like Fender did it. So let's clean up these sockets. I have a little used bad tube here that I use for the Novel sockets, of which there are 6 on this amp. That's why it's always expensive to retube these guys. And once again, huge shout out to who? Can we focus? Tyler over at Aeroflex for this cap here that just holds my straw in. Thank you, dude. And then we'll use the pins themselves to scrub the socket. Awesome. And initially it's quite gummy. As I was removing the stock tubes, it had quite a gummy feel. Now I'm feeling metal on metal contact, which is what you want. Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. So we'll let that guy sit there and dry off. If I need to speed dry, then I'll do that too. That's not a problem. And I have a dead octal that I can go ahead and use to clean out the other guys. And this isn't always the best way to do it. You have to make an assessment for yourself, because obviously you're going to wear the socket. So you need to make an assessment for yourself and determine whether or not it's worth the risk. And if you decide that you can't move forward, then what you'll do is grab one of these little nylon guys like this. You'll grab one of these guys. Can we focus? Can we focus? And you'll use this. It's a great way to go. But bear in mind that you have a little bit of space at the end that's not going to allow you to clean. So it's not going to be a deep cleaning, but it's going to be a cleaning. So I'm going to go ahead and follow up with this. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Ooh, that's sensual. That is sensual. There's a lot of tobacco residue on this amp. And again, when you're approaching this, what should you ensure? You should ensure that the amp has been fully discharged. It's not plugged in. It's not powered on. Because in many cases, you're fooling with the plate supply here, which is connected right to the anode end of those big filter caps. And the cathode end of those caps is connected to what? Yeah, the metal chassis. That's right here. So you go bridging that with the tool in your body that crosses your chest cavity to get to the other arm. And you're a dead man. That's why I never show this kind of stuff. I don't want to risk it. It's not worth it. This is actually working quite well. I like it. All right, we're almost done servicing the top side of this amp. But before I do that, make sure that we use a nice soft brass brush just to gently remove any corrosion that may be left on these old tubies, the old tone pups. All right, this is actually number 3. This will be your reverb driver. In no particular order. This is tube number 6, V6. This is number 2. Nice. It's number 5. These are all original tubes. With the exception of maybe this recovery tube, which looks like a Chinese 12AX7, but I'm not quite sure. It's hard to say. All right. So I know for a fact that the power tubes did not have a short. Could they have been noisy? Sure. They sure could be. But we don't know for certain. And that's all right. Let's see, take a look. Isopropyl alcohol. And just make sure. Make sure we don't have anything potentially bridging any of these pins here. Just never know. Just out of curiosity. Not a significant clean spot. Samp's in great shape. All right. Let's kick her off a standby and observe the background hum. Spoiler alert, it's still there. And it's about 5 decibels less with the new caps. We have a noisy 6v6 here. And we do have a set of noisy preamp tubes as well. Though that's not the main instigating issue. Let's take a look. Put some of my garbage away. If we can give you a little bit of a better shot there. So everything's fairly loud. One of your tubes is running about 4 milliamps hotter than the next, or you can say conversely that one's running colder. Here's your normal channels preamp tube. Not bad. This guy is very noisy. Not going to hear much out of these cats here. So far, let's dampen these. It's not bad. This guy for certain needs to be changed. And And we can judge the health of this guy here once we have the tank or pan hooked back up. Update soon. A little 5U4GB here running from Magnavox. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to ensure that we have the same amount of resistance on this artificial center tap going to ground on either side for the heater supply. So let's get there. Looking good. All right. And the next thing I'm going to do is make sure this discrepancy is not due to drifted resistors in the bias network. Nice. Not too drifty at all. Well, this guy's drifted up to almost 100K. So phase inverter plate load is going to be changed. I'll check out these other plate loads in a moment. But check this out. What was starting to creep in. Look at this guy. As seen in your favorite Silverface. Pretty cool, huh? And I use the old style carbon comps. I just snatch up the old Allen Bradleys whenever I see them pop up. And it's kind of a curiosity that on the schematic for the Fender Deluxe Reverb AB763 circuit, that other phase inverter plate load is actually shown, this guy here, is actually marked as being a 100K. Yet for all the voltages being equal, it's showing a 10 volt DC discrepancy from plate to plate, so I think we know what we need to do. All right. I like to use these guys for making printed circuit board repairs, perfect for bridging the pads and making little jumpers. They're great. I have a whole stack of them in a drawer. See if we can get this in a shot. Lighting is really bad. It's very cloudy today. I depend on that ambient light for the sensual shots anyway. But yeah, this is a legit new old stock Allen Bradley. And these old Mallorys, these are the ones that we want to get rid of. Here, the most crucial of all is this guy back here. Pardon all the creaking and squeaking. This little guy hiding back here, responsible for your bias filtering. Let's get rid of that guy. Listen to that glorious sound in the background and notice what you're not hearing. So the change from the filter caps effect on the noise floor and the bias caps effect on the noise floor have been tremendous. In particular, this guy. Let me get this power off so I don't shock myself. This guy here is leaky. Incredibly dangerous to have any sort of DC making its way over to your grids on a power tube. But this guy was leaky and contributing significantly to the noise floor. This is something that has to be changed when it's time. This could end the lives of your power tubes and then, to be honest, could provide a kill shot to your output transformer. So this is a critical cap here. And why I always tell people that having some sort of protection for your output transformer is incredibly important. Let's see. I'm obscuring the labels on my main parts bin, so I can't quite get to it. Let me take a quick look. Can't quite get to it, but let me just say that having a metal oxide varistor, these guys, running from that B+ node to the plate of each tube, rather the B+ node, I'm so sorry. These guys, these will save the life of your expensive output transformer, and that in the speakers are the biggest keys to your tone with these old amps, in my humble opinion. That's what does it. So what would that look like on this amp? Well, on this particular amp, I would set up a little terminal strip on the post of this power transformer lug, and I would run the circuit. It doesn't modify anything. It's not in the signal path. All it's going to do is, in the off chance that you have a particular type of failure in a power amp, that you don't get a big flyback voltage spike piercing through the laminations of your output transformer, as soon as these detect that over voltage situation, and they're not actively detecting it, it's just their particular rating, and obviously there are different specs for these things, but as soon as it crosses that threshold, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to start conducting, and it's going to dissipate that over voltage in the form of heat. It's going to absorb that energy and protect your tubes and output transformer. So, not protect your tubes will have been roasted by then, but you get what I'm saying. No coffee today, give me a break. There is no more background buzz. How do you like that? Resituated a few grounds. That's a beautiful thing. You're hearing a little bit of a crispy electronic sound coming out because of the RF output of my phone. But we're ready to do some front panel work. And some more testing, which is always fun. Then I'll see if I can throw those old caps up on the tester. We'll see how they spec out.